Hi guys, Ryuu here from Blender Browser, and in this video we're gonna model a hard surface kit brush piece. Let's go. Okay, let's start with a cube. Now, modeling anything really starts with a blockout, so we need to have a general idea of what we're gonna do. So guys, if you'd like to learn more about hard-ups and Boxcutter, a lot of tricks and tips and the whole workflow, we have a free course for you guys on our website, link in the video description, so grab it. It's, like I said, it's free, and it will teach you how to create a model, how to render it, etc. And if you don't use add-ons, you're starting with Blender, you're kind of intimidated by all the tools, we have a fantastic free course for you. It's a jumpstart hard surface course for Blender, and this course will teach you everything you need to know about Blender. Actually, even if you're an add-on user, I think you might benefit a lot from this free jumpstart course, because there's an introductory section where we introduce a lot of important things like the whole menu setup, render settings, compositor settings, and all that. Both courses are free, links in the video description, you can grab them from our site. Let's cut it here with a cube like this, okay? Then actually we could chamfer these corners. So chamfer them like that, and Alt X to mirror to the other side with Mesh Machine. If you don't have Mesh Machine, you can use hard ups for that. Here we could actually cut it like this and then mirror to the bottom. So this cut is gonna be quite interesting here in the middle. We could use that. We could also cut it from the top to make it a little bit more airy. So, cut it somewhere here like that. In fact, we could just follow these edges here a bit closer, and then maybe here, and just bevel it a little bit here, maybe 8 segments or maybe 6, and cut. Cool. This will introduce some lightness to this structure. Maybe it's a little bit too deep here. Let's move it closer. So I will scroll and GY and move it closer, so it kind of doesn't overlap with this bit in the front here. Maybe that's a little bit better. We can think about it later. Here in this corner we could have some bevels, so I will scroll and grab this edge here and maybe bevel it a little bit. So let's say 8 segments. It's gonna be a little bit rounder and sort of a better transition. Here in the front we could cut it here. So select that and cut it here in the front like this. We could mirror it to the other side, and then let's just sort of bevel here so we can see the outline, and also weighted normals. So I'll click on sharpen, and now let's see, we could technically cut it in here with a bevel like this and going up, and then B and scroll and create like a beveled cut here. That's gonna be quite interesting, I think. This one could be beveled as well, so I will scroll and bevel this. All right, there we go. So you're gonna have this kind of nice transition here. This is gonna be difficult to control shading with, but we don't really need a bevel, physical bevel. We can have a shaded bevel shader. Through mask also we could add some loops here to support, give some support for this cut here. The same here, I will scroll and add some loops here, with Control R. So Control R and scroll to add some loops here, more support. It's gonna, clean up the shading a bit. Here on top, what we could do is use a bevel, but we can do it later. And here in the middle we could cut it through, so let's do it from the front, and we're going to grab a square and maybe cut it in here like this, and then bevel it, and press tab B and scroll it to maybe 8, maybe 10 segments is fine, and bevel it from the front here. If your computer is slowing down, what you can do is turn off the bevel. Should help a bit, okay? You could press a Q for quad bevel, so B and Q to bevel it on all edges, so it's gonna get beveled here as well. And we got a cut here on the bottom. That's actually quite interesting. It may be a bit too, too thin here, so we can just ever scroll it and kind of scale it in. a little bit, and SY and scale it in here. And make sure that it doesn't actually encroach on the bevel here, because this is going to be an absolute bastard to fix. So if you don't need a headache, don't create yourself headaches, okay? Cool, this is pretty good. Here on top of this, we could have another cut, maybe. Maybe something like this here. So let's just cut it through E and cut through it, and then press B for bevel. Turn off quad bevels by pressing Q and create this kind of a cut here. This is interesting, and this could be beveled. So now we're going to apply everything. So ever scroll and operations multiply. You know, we can grab this edge here and bevel it. Let's just clean this area here. There's some junk. Press 3. With mesh machine, also beveling is fixing. Press 1 to change the profile. There is some beef going on in here. There's a double edge. Let's just dissolve it. We don't need it. There we go. In fact, we don't need any of these edges here, to be honest. So we can select it with W and dissolve edges. Select this one and bevel it. There we go. There's some problem on the bottom as well. So let's remove the double edge. Let me see what's going on here. This one, right? Yeah. There we go. And one more time. Perfect. Alt X to the other side to mirror it. We don't need any of these here. So we could technically use mesh cleanup, but I don't want hard ups to remove too much geometry, so I'm just going to do it manually. And here we can bevel this as well and mirror to the other side, and there you go. Here in the back we could have a large opening for a circle or another square. So let's go to square and let's do something like this here. Select that, draw a rectangle here, press B for bevel, and then J to connect it, E, and insert it a bit inside and then outside here. Create this kind of like a, you know, pocketed sort of like a, I don't know, connector or something. And I'm gonna run power save. All the links to add-ons I'm using are in the video description, guys. Hard ups, Boxcutter, you know, mesh machine, all that. Here we don't really need that. You know, I'm gonna try to run cleanup, so operations clean mesh. It's gonna clean all the junk that I don't need. Let's run a bevel so it's gonna nicely kind of flow into one another. This one also could be beveled. That's a bit more tricky to do. I actually have a video on that. Go ahead and watch it. It's a video on bevel tricks. We're gonna do that in here. So we're gonna give this bevel to something to run on, create something like this, and then clean the mesh, and you know, symmetrize it to the other side, and you got this kind of an impossible sort of a bevel here. Cool, that's pretty cool. I like that. Here too, technically we could have a bevel. It's going to be really difficult to do because this one is really close. Limitations of poly modeling, but you can drop the loop here. So let me see. Let me just we could do that. We could shift 1 here, shift 1 and shift 1 and shift 1. In fact, this one should be going up here. And then possibly we could maybe relax these. So go to loop tools and relax and shift R a few times. It's going to space them nicely. There we go. And then we can run a loop here and shift select this one, Alt A, move it down. So it's going to be on the same level. Connect them with J. And by doing so, you got yourself a connecting edge like this. And we're going to clean mesh and you know, mirror here and mirror at the bottom. And you got this impossible seemingly bevels running all over the mesh. People are gonna be looking at your Blender model. It's gonna be, how the fuck did he do that? So here we could also bevel that, you know, because reasons. And we could also bevel that, so it's gonna nicely flow. Maybe that's too many bevels. This could be actually sharp. This could be actually sharp. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Alright, actually, in fact, you know, these could be beveled as well. This could be some kind of like a plug, slot, whatever. We could have some kind of massive screws here on top. Or even here, we could drill some holes and introduce some screws. Or maybe from the top. Oh, this could be interesting. So here, I could just drill a hole, you know, through it, right? And introduce some massive screws here. And in fact, here too on the side. So you hold control by enable dots here. Then you can hold control. And I would suggest you not being in orthographic mode, although it kind of works in orthographic, but perspective is better. And then let's just move it down here, GX, and cut it, and then, you know, we can actually mirror it to the bottom like that. Cool, so we got these holes for some supporting brackets, so we could have some, you know, chamfer here, for sure, and maybe a larger one, and definitely chamfer here. Chamfers are very important for edge readability. You want to run chamfers on your mesh, and they're really essential, guys. Here in the side we could have some opening as well, just to add more lightness to this structure. So we could have, for example, opening here, maybe like this, and shift click, and then we're going to grab this face here and scale it down. Let me see that. Scale it down so it kind of more or less echoes in these edges. But you know what, let's go back, let's Control R this here, and then grab this face and scale it. I think it's gonna be better. Yeah, so it kind of echoes these edges but also echoes this shape, which is kind of interesting. So now we're going to grab this cutter, and in edge mode, Alt Control click to select all the loops, and now we can just kind of bevel this. So Control B, and, you know, bevel that here inside. This could be some connection here in the middle. So here we're gonna grab this face and the Q, boolean, and selection to boolean, and one more time. Oh, this boolean is not applied yet, so operations. Do I want to multiply this already? That's a good question. I think it's okay. Okay, so let's apply this. Let's grab this FQ, and let's just go here to booleans and selection to boolean. Scale it in. Don't overdo it, because you're gonna, you know, collapse it on itself, and sort of, you know, go in, but don't overdo it. That's a little bit too deep. Although, you know what, this could actually work. This is too deep here. GY, move it in here, and in fact what we could do is move it somewhere here. Yeah, let's apply this. Operations multiply. Grab this face here and inset it. And now, because we did that, we're gonna have a problem with bevels, but we can fix it with unfuck. So unfuck and fix this with mesh machine, and then we can symmetrize it to all edges. Grab this face here in the middle, press F, and we can actually extrude it. So E, and extrude it in here, which will cut really nicely through this opening here without creating many problems. Here in the front, what we need is a nice round bevel. To create this kind of like a beveled structure here, which is gonna look pretty cool. Awesome, so we got that going on. Let's grab this cutter, have a scroll, and we're going to shift it to solid shape. So shift click on shade solid, shift to, and now we got this here in the middle, which could be some kind of you know, device or whatnot. So we could cut it here, you know, like this. So it's gonna stick out sort of from the back, and we could just add some handle or whatnot here in the back. And here, this could be some kind of you know, let me just scale this a little bit. There we go. This could be some kind of you know, maybe cooling system or something like this. Press V, and we're just going to array this here, and GX, move it here, and cut it. And you're gonna get this kind of a situation here. It looks pretty bloody cool. Okay, and here we could have some You know, we could have some trim sheets through it here on top. We don't have quads here because of this. That's fine. We can symmetrize it to the left and then we can run quads, right? Yeah, there we go. So we could have some trim sheets here. We could have some kind of like a, you know, securing strip on top. For some reason, this one needs to be applied. So operations multiply, and let's run a bevel here, and let's actually run a chamfer on this side, okay? And then control click on sharpen and sort it, boom. And here we could have some kind of like a handle that you can, you know, sort of slide it out. Also here on the side we could have some rails. So we could have some rails, you know, going like this inside. And let's just recover that. Rate is down, so X, and then mirror to the other side. So it kind of indicates that, you know, you can slide something in. And here we could have some kind of like a you know, handle. So we could use end gun for that. So D, end gun, and turn off cyclic, and just let's run an end gun here. Just deselect everything. Run an end gun here like this. Right, and then press T for certification. And then E. And click. And we could just, you know, drop it in here. Make it a bit more narrow. And, you know, whoa. And extrude it over there to the, into this shape, right? Mirror to the other side. We could, you know, easily bevel these to make them a bit more round. Bevel this one as well. Mirror to the other side, and then boolean and union, and you know, there you go. And here we could have some, you know, opening holes, whatever, running through that to make it a bit more open, and then simply mirror, right? And then we got this kind of like a, you know, slottable device or some kind of a battery pack, whatever the hell it is. And this, like I said, this here on the side could be chamfers. We could have some kind of a EM macro insert here with alt kind of deep inside. There we go. It's gonna kind of break this surface, you know, somewhere here, creating two planar surfaces, which is kind of cool. On top of this, we could have some mounting screws here on sides. Draw it in here, press V, scroll down, and you can change the axis with X, by the way, here. And we're just gonna mirror this, holding shift to the right and the bottom, so it's on all sides. That looks pretty cool. Kind of wraps up this surface. The top could be very, you know, plain. That's okay. This is still a bit rough. I think this actually could be rounded up, to be honest. Oh, chamfered. This could actually work. Actually, no, maybe that was gonna be better. Kind of like, you know, roundish here. Probably gonna be a bit more soft on the edges here. We could just click Alt click and select this loop here around and chamfer it. Okay. You want to run chamfers, okay, everywhere you can, but make sure that these chamfers come in different sizes. You don't want them to be, you know, of the same size. Some of them have to be bigger, some of them have to be smaller, like this one could be bigger, for example. You know, this one here in the bottom could be smaller. We could just click Alt click here. See, now because we got all these sort of bevels here, this chamfer flows very nicely. There's a bit of a beef here, but we could actually turn off loop slide and fix it. There's a problem here with this. Here I can actually run an edge like this, and this will slide on this edge, no problem. There we go. This is a metallic surface, so remember it's gonna be a bit rough on around the edges, right? mirror to all sides, and then, well, this thing needs a better connection, so let's grab a knife and connect it in here, and then we can dissolve this. We can then, you know, chamfer this one here and mirror everywhere with mesh machine. Or symmetrize this one here too. Needs to be, this could be actually bigger, just for fun. There's a chamfer here. This is gonna be probably impossible to run chamfer on. We can actually create a chamfer with hard up, so Alt and flip, and then Control B. If you flip a face, you can actually chamfer it like that, which is pretty cool on a live boolean. So if you didn't know that you can do that, now you do. Here too, we could make this a little bit more light, or we could actually run some trim sheets here, or you know what, we could actually have some kind of, let me see that. Yeah, we could have some kind of, you know, some grooves on the side or whatnot. So here, we could run, where are these cutters? Let me just grab these cutters here. Have a scroll. These ones, right? So let's grab them both, and we're going to duplicate them, and then GX and kind of sync them in a little bit. So GX and sync them in a little, or in fact, you know what? Let's grab that face and GX and move it in like this, and then boolean and union. Okay, let me see that. Then we're gonna move them a little bit deeper, right? So have a scroll and then GY and move it in here. So it kind of, you know, you can see that they actually fit in. Here we could do something else, maybe some wedge cuts, you know, on top and the bottom. So some wedge cut here, W and Control, W again. And then we need to wedge cut from the other side because of mirror. So here one more time, W, hold Control for a perfect wedge. And let me just see that. Q, have a scroll, GX, move it deeper, and scale it like this, and array this along the Y-axis, and sharpen. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. We're gonna have it on one side or both sides. I think both is cool. Yeah, that's a little bit of, you know, drama over there and all that. Here we're gonna have some tiny screws, but this could be done with decals. It's not a big deal. Same here. This could be actually, you know, this could be actually chamfered here. I think it's gonna look a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. Kind of like a ceiling or something. Sort of a seal on that device. Here too we could have something in this area. Could actually have kind of like a supporting bracket here. This could be interesting. Let's grab a cube and see if we can do that. So grab a cube and put it in here. Scale it, of course. And let's move this somewhere here. And we're gonna have to cut it from this side. Because we don't need that part. We only need this bit. GZ and move it up here. And we're going to have to cut it as well. Here like this. Okay, so cut it, right? And this could be kind of like a supporting edge. So sharpen. And we could actually bevel this 3 to clean it with machine tools and bevel these. You can actually unmark it before you bevel because you will not need these marked edges. And what we could do here is actually make this a bit thinner and Shift DZ and move it down and combine them into one, so Control J. And we're going to union that and mirror to the other side. Okay, so now we got these kind of like a supporting bits here that, you know, kind of add more structural strength to this device. Okay, so here now let's operations multiply. Let's grab this bit here, control on curve extract. Let's go to local and let's fix this because Jesus, this is going to overshoot and this is going to overshoot, right? So here we can actually fix it with machine tools. Select all this and left, and then collapse them here and create a corner like this instead, sharpen that, select these two, Shift Control B and corner. And that's much better. And now what we can do with this, we can actually inset it a little bit like that. We will have to fix this corner here with unfuck. So unfuck and do that. And we should be peachy, right? So Control I, X, and remove faces. And in fact, this corner here actually is fine. So now, let me see this corner here. Yeah, this needs to be fixed with unfuck as well. So unfuck and make it a bit more round. There we go. Go to modifier, solidify, press 2. Now make sure you're going to remove the bevel, because if you apply the bevel to this one's going to be a beef and difference. And we could just mirror it to the other side like that and to the bottom. So, and there you go, got a bit of a cut here, which kind of adds more interest, visual break, light breakage. In addition, we could have tiny screws in here on top as well. So we could just, drill a hole in here. Maybe not through, but somewhere like that. And, let's apply this. Operation Smart Apply, and then we could actually use the mesh machine screw. So right click and thread, and we could add some threads here just for fun. Well, it's maybe too many. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. So let's just mirror it to here and here, the bottom. Looking good. Then you can easily put some mats on it. So let's say Q, I'll click on Z loader. I'm gonna be using keytops and definitely even materials. Links are in the video description. I sometimes use these, they're pretty cool. We're gonna add some matte titanium to this mesh, and it's gonna look pretty cool. There we go. Was it matte titanium? Titanium matte, this one, that's what I want. There we go. Oh, that's lovely. That looks really cool. And here we could have, let's say, the same, but maybe shiny titanium. Or actually matte titanium as well, but of a different color. So grab this titanium. In fact, we got a problem here with this boolean, you see, because we mirrored it to the bottom. And this is what happens. So let me show you how would I fix a mesh like that. That's actually a kind of interesting conundrum. So this is really easy to fix, guys. This is the middle of the bevel, right? So all we need to do is go to occlude with, actually that's going to be a bad idea. Let's just grab a B selector and select all these verts here, and this one, and this one, I think. And go to back view here, and Alt A and move them to the left. Boom. Okay, and then press 3, and then we're going to go to Operations Clean Mesh, and boom, and you have your mesh sorted. Okay, so if you have a problem like this, don't panic. Think what to do. Always think, always think what kind of tools you have in your disposal. Okay, remember, you have all the tools you need to get everything done. Okay, there's nothing you can't do if you have proper add-ons or know the tools in Blender, because you do not always need add-ons to fix things in Blender. Sometimes you just need Blender. Here too, let's add the chamfer, and set the chamfer here as well, and then let's mirror it down and mirror to the right. This is gonna create some really interesting planar shifts. They're gonna really nicely read the shapes here too as well. Let's just add a add a little bit of a chamfer. It doesn't have to be large, it can be small. Did I pull something in here? No, I didn't find. Cool. Just mirror to the other side, and you're good to go. So there you go, guys. I think we're cool. So let's go back to our titanium look. There you go. Looks pretty decent. And this one could be, this one could be a little bit darker. Okay, so go here and just simply drop the value. And not on this one, on. Actually, you know what? We could drop the value on this one. So click here to duplicate the matte and just simply drop the value on the main one. And the bit in the middle is going to be of a different color. That is pretty cool. So And then all you need to do is render this. I'm not gonna be rendering in this video because it will be too long, but you know, you could just drop a matte and put a camera here at a nice angle, and then you know, you're good to go. So maybe something like this, and camera to view, and zoom it out a bit. Maybe change it to something a bit taller because that piece is quite large, and you know, frame it like that so you can actually see more or less. If you want to sometimes show you know, more different angles of the model, you can create a larger framing and then grab this one and rotate it, and you're gonna see basically more of the model, right? But you could put it somewhere here, and maybe some kind of logo here through this middle of the screen or something like that. So anyway guys, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.